FullTiltPoker.net $1 million cash game. Button is in front of Patrick Antonius. The players have returned. And the action is over to Chris Ferguson. He's not going to play this one. Over to the button, Patrick Antonius. He's not going to play this. Tremendously patient player, Antonius, isn't he?
Yeah, very, very patient, Patrick. We've got a live straddle on this one. 1,200 from David Benjamin and raised up by the internet sensation Tom Dwan, who's currently not having it his way. A raise with the ace-3 and a call from David Benjamin.
Coming out where you play, and everybody has the webcam in front of them.
Well, the ace has come.
Yeah, Dwan way ahead here. Benjamin's got backdoor clubs and the gut shot.
Playing on their webcam on the computer where you can see their faces.
No help there on the turn.
How far behind can that be?
And Dwan obviously wants to keep this pot somewhat small. He's got top pair, but no kicker. Very vulnerable hand, isn't it?
It certainly is. He probably doesn't want to feel like he wants to put an awful lot of chips in this pot. And he's going to wish he'd bet it now. A straight for David. It's only a $10,000 pot, so I can't imagine an awful lot's going to be lost in this pot.
Now, it's interesting here. Did he miss a bet on the turn? I mean, I know he's trying to pot control. I know he's scared of the check raise from Benjamin because he's such a creative player. He can check raise bluff. But did he miss that bet?
Well, yeah. It's not so much a case of missing a bet, he's missed a chance to protect his hand. If he's up against a queen or jack, his check on the flop may get him a caller on the turn.
So he just got unlucky, really. I mean, basically a 4-outer.
You can just say, like, hey, let's all go and play. We're all sit in front of our webcam.
Yeah, but I mean, they have it like where your avatar is, like your webcam picture, so when, like, you can see them, and if you type in and you can talk.
So many different things you have to factor when you're playing No Limit Hold'em. One thing is pot control, and Tom Dwan was doing it perfectly there until the king of clubs falls.
I don't think that's a good thing, because I think a lot of people just... I mean, what if you're not... You get penalized if you're not sitting in front of your webcam?
Good, you have a separate table for that.
It's a pot-sized bet.
You have, like, the webcam...
And although this pot might seem small in comparison to other pots, we're talking about $20,000.
You have a separate table. Yeah, but regular tables, and then you have a table where you play with webcam where you see people.
I wouldn't like it. I mean, I get up and go to the bathroom all the time.
Anyone who's ever played with David Benjamin knows he can bluff. Anyone who's ever watched David Benjamin knows he can bluff.
Well, he's shown a handful of bluffs, and if there's ever a bluff card out there, the king of clubs is the bluff card, isn't it?
It's true. He's just got to work out whether it's a kind of a 50-50 chance whether David's bluffing or not. If it's higher than 50-50, he makes the call. If it's less than 50-50, he should make the pass.
And why is that? Is that because he's getting 2-to-1 on his money?
That's exactly right.
I think, well, and they don't have to do it software.
You can show a bluff. I don't mind.
No, I don't. Which one do you want? Choose one.
This one.
He turns over the 3.
Ace, king, queen, jack.
3-10.
Maybe. Benjamin having fun with the 22-year-olds. $2.6 million at the table. Action over to Patrick Antonius there. He's going to fold. He's been so patient. Kojak there for Andy Block. Now, Scandinavian players have a reputation for being so aggressive. Patrick Antonius, not so much.
No, not in this game. He's realised it's 8-handed. If you play 3-handed with Patrick, he can really step up his gears. He can by far be the most aggressive player at the table, but he can also be the tightest and the quietest player at the table. That's why he's such a quality player. But this hand developing into a bit of a pot. A button raise from Andy Block, trying to steal the 1,200 live straddle of Tom Dwan, and a re-raise from Tom.
I mean, was it necessarily a steal? He had King-Jack on the button.
No,
and unraised pot.
Exactly, he thinks at the time he's probably got the best hand. It might be a little different now he's facing a re-raise.
And you got to hand it to Tom Dwan. He keeps getting knocked down, but he keeps getting back up.
Yeah, absolutely relentless.
Yes. Cool.
And Andy Block's going to make the call with the King-Jack. I wasn't actually sure he would.
Pot nearly $31,000. Heads up to the flop.
2, 6, 6.
Well, that's a pretty good flop to bluff into, isn't it?
It certainly is. There's nothing there for Andy.
And unless Andy started with a pair, it's unlikely that flop helped him.
Exactly. $19,000, $20,000 bet. Find out where he is. Maybe even find out for cheaper.
So if you're Dwan here, $19,000 bet, is that what you're saying?
That's the kind of size bet I'd expect.
What? You're only playing man.
Looks like 17 right there. Looks like 17.5.
Well, UB's having
No, 14.
day 1A and then. What's the latest you can play in that? We could sign up for that.
17-2.
I don't know. You gotta find out from me. Because I'd rather play that in EPT if I get knocked out. It's just so beautiful down there. It's beautiful thing.
Pot nearly 50,000, and I just don't see a way that Andy Block can continue with this one.
I know that I'm scheduled to fly.
Take a little bit of creative play from Andy.
No, I play the 27.
I mean, he has position, but of course, Dwan's got the betting lead, which is more important in this case, isn't it?
It certainly is.
No, I'm just kidding. I was told by Ty Stewart it's 27 so I play the 27. And then if I make it to the day, I rebook my flight for the 30th.
There's an EPT here out there.
Yeah.
Block plays online as well. He's very familiar with Durr. He knows he can be making a move here, but he's only got King Jack. And he's going to release it.
Thought better of making some sort of play on the kid.
Block there loses a little bit of a pot there. And he is now dipped below the $100,000 mark, down $700 after winning an early pot. Hope you're enjoying the FullTiltPoker.net $1 Million Cash Game. I certainly am. Of course, Chris Ferguson wearing his trademark cowboy hat.
Live straddle on this one, 1,200 from Phil Ivey. Patrick Antonis, who's been very quiet so far, despite being stuck $250,000.
Pass.
He raises it up to 4,000.
Lesser players might press and steam if they're down $250,000. Not Antonius.
Not at all.
You get like 5 seconds per power.
Well, Phil Helmuth with Ace King
Call.
calls, and so does Phil Ivey very quickly. It's going to be these three to the flop.
5, 10, 8.
10 high board. That's good
Check.
for Patrick. Not much for anyone else.
Now, when Phil loses his hand, are we going to get more moaning out of the poker brat?
Nothing would surprise me from Phil Helmuth.
Pot is $13,000,
10,000.
and Antonius is going to bet.
Thursday? Confused. Is today a Thursday?
We know what day it is. Anybody here knows? I bet you there's not one person here knows what day it is.
I mean, come on.
I don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and guess. I think it's Thursday, but I don't have a clue.
I don't know.
No, it can't be. Well, yeah, it is Thursday.
Phil Helmuth shows the ace-king, folds it. Phil Ivey folds as well, and Antonius takes down a pot.
Double bonus.
Mike the Mouth down $22,000.